Well, hello again, everybody. Welcome to Illiana Stock Car Radio, episode number 63 and part two of our two-part 63 and part two of our two-part season finale for 2020.
God,
if you don't know, I know if you don't know us by now, I don't know why you don't. But Jeremy Bann and Chris Goodacre here, as always. And man, episode 63.
Mm-hmm.
Have we really been doing this for 63 times now?
Yeah, actually more than that because we had the short-lived NASCAR show before this.
Yes, yeah, we quickly realized that was a mistake, and kind of focused on our bread and butter here. But Moorhead's checking in.
Moorhead's here early tonight.
Yeah, and we got the MoFast Speed Shop shirt on tonight. So maybe that was like the Beetlejuice thing. I wore the shirt and wear it so many times.
Three times?
Well, by the time at the end of the show, we might say Jason Moorhead 3 times. I don't know.
That'd be 2.
So like I said, part 2 of our 2-part season finale. It was originally supposed to be last week, but the guests we had were trying to line up, had to work, which it happens. Definitely not going to stand in anybody's way of making $1. It was probably not a bad thing that happened because about this time last week had issues with a garage door. And then the neighbor decided to drop a tree on my fence over the weekend. So, yeah.
All right.
Nice, eventful week, even though we weren't recording last week.
Yeah, Bobby Allwine there. He can tell you something about dropping trees on stuff.
So, which I'm thankful that we went on about the time we did because he dropped the tree on my fence and said he would fix it. Well, he picked tonight to fix it. So, hopefully, knock on wood, he is all done. Like, wait, literally, knock on wood. Ha, pun intended. Hopefully he is all done.
We're done.
Yeah, hopefully we don't hear any saws or anything in the background because it's right outside my window here. Good episode coming for you guys tonight. We've got local late model champion Kyle Cooper in the house here in just a few minutes. Decided we're going to talk some dirt racing tonight. Not something we typically do or do as much as we probably should of how popular it is in the area, and maybe set a goal for 2021, Chris.
There you go.
Well, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into our local racing spotlight. And although I don't know, is that going to show up? Man,
I don't know.
All the expletives there. Chris, you are number 1.
Or maybe number 2.
Hopefully not. Our local racing spotlight this evening, presented by S4 Motorsports Marketing. You can find S4 Motorsports on Facebook and Instagram to see how they can get your small business's message out front with on and off track motorsports marketing. Let's bring in the man of the hour, Kyle Cooper. Kyle, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys.
Glad you could take some time out to be with us tonight.
Yeah, our season's kind of winding down, so it wasn't too bad. I didn't have no trees to drop on my neighbor's yard, so
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, and they probably appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
Kind of like we said, we don't focus as much on the dirt side of things here as we probably should or would like to. So that being said, we're not as familiar with some of the competitors. So that being said, let's kind of start off with, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got involved in racing and kind of how that journey took place.
My mom and dad used to sponsor a car back in the late 90s, and so I was always at the track watching at Crown Point Speedway, South Lake Speedway, and built the car for my brother, and he raced it one time. Just decided it wasn't for him, and I had a lot of interest in it. And I think I was 15. 15. So it was a little bit before 98. So I jumped in it one night and just loved it. Didn't do that good. Didn't do good at all. So
you weren't one of those guys that hops in the first time and blisters the field?
No. I hit about everything out there. If there was a pace car, I probably would have hit it first year or two I raced. So
he kind of sounds like me on iRacing.
Yeah, you've been doing it a while.
Yeah, I've stuck with it and had pretty successful career so far at it.
Yeah, kind of looking back through, you've raced just about everything.
Yeah, I've raced late models. When I'm currently racing the hobby stocks. Back in the day when I first started, modified. I raced modified for several years, and then the iMods are called iMods now. They were MMA back in the day. Raced street stock on dirt. And, we had an asphalt car too. I was telling you guys a little bit about it. I raced asphalt street stocks, and what else? Played around with go-karts. Did that practicing a few times on dirt and asphalt. I think that's about it. I had to ask my wife here.
I'll say that pretty much covers it.
Yeah.
That's enough for anybody.
That's about it. So, the one thing I want to race something with a wing on it. So some type of wing car.
I say, yeah, that's probably the last box to check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So out of all that, what's been your favorite car to race?
Probably the late models.
Mm-hmm.
I've just got into them the last few years. And I just like a full body car. They're a little bit bigger. We're on 14-inch tires,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not as easy to drive. I mean, they're a handful, but they're probably one of the funnest things to race.
Right. Now I'm curious. You said you ran iMods a little bit, and I see iMods and modifies. Kind of, what's the difference between the two for a newbie to that world like myself?
The iMods run a lot smaller motor. They run a crate engine in them, and the full-blown UMP late or modifieds, they're pretty unlimited on the engine. You got to have a steel block, but other than that, pretty much wide open. You can run alcohol, methanol, about 2 to 3 times more horsepower.
Gotcha.
Same size tire, so it makes it a handful to drive with them.
Oh, I bet. Anytime you increase the horsepower, but not the tire size, that's going to be a handful for anybody.
Yeah, definitely.
So you've raced a lot of cars everywhere. How many tracks do you think you've raced at?
Probably close to 15 to 20. When we were in the modified, we were running national points in that too, and we traveled all around doing that, and several states, from here all the way down to Florida. Haven't gone out west a whole lot or east, kind of just the bordering states, then south as far as I can go.
Right. Any track stand out maybe as a favorite?
I just raced the Falls Fairbury this weekend, and
Mm-hmm.
we only race there in my division a few times a year, and that's becoming one of my favorite. Probably my favorite is Shadyhill Speedway in Illinois there.
Mm-hmm.
I've had good and bad luck there. It's always just been one of my favorite tracks. It's racy. You can race 2-3 wide there. Tom Smith and Dave over there, they do an awesome job promoting that track and give us a really racy surface all the time.
Right. So, yeah, let's kind of take a look this year. Definitely cleaned up in the wins and championship department. Over Shadyhill Speedway, late model track champion out there. 2 wins, 6 top 5s, 7 top 10s. Kankakee Speedway, UMP Pro late model champ this year with 3 feature wins. So kind of taking in all that, kind of what was your biggest highlight of 2020?
Probably the national points deal. I ended up finishing 3rd. We just finished that up beginning of October.
Right.
We set out to try to win it, of course, but we had a little spell there. I had to take a few nights off racing and put me behind and just couldn't quite catch up. But not make excuses. It was a tough competition out there. Hats off to Torrin Mattil. He ended up winning it, but probably where I finished in the nation 3rd, and just able to capture 2 track championships in 1 year. I mean, that's Friday and Saturday. So come Saturday mornings, we were hustling sometimes, getting the stuff back together. But
yeah,
it's a lot of hard work by me and my crew.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Torrin seemed like he was your competition just about everywhere you went this year. What was that like racing him?
I really enjoy him. I have me and him have a lot of respect for each other, and I race him. It's not that he's out racing somewhere else. I race against him on Friday and Saturdays, and
right.
I just had a little better luck those few nights, and was able to pull the championships off, competing against him every week. And then, but it's a good rival we got going on. We really enjoy racing each other. We respect each other, so it's fun racing with him.
Yeah. Looks like your daughter's checking in on the YouTube, so it looks like she's got it all figured out there.
Yeah. That's the IT department, we call it around here. Others misspelled my name earlier. We had to fix that.
Yeah, well, who hasn't gotten a letter backwards every now and then? Eh?
Yeah.
We talked about it, running Fridays and Saturdays, for a championship at 2 different racetracks. What were the challenges of running 2 different tracks for a championship like that?
Wasn't too bad on Fridays. My job lets me be a little bit flexible. I can leave work because I still got to have a full-time job too. And lets me leave work early on Fridays. So I'm able to make Fridays. Saturdays is actually some of the competition. And where my cars are made are in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
I almost have to have a lot of spare parts in case something would happen. That way I could get it back out for Saturday. And Saturday is so close to my home. That's Shadyhill Speedway. That's one of my favorites too. It's like 15 minutes from my house. So that's kind of one of my favorites, what I consider my home track also. And so just making sure we have spare parts for everything and just try to get through the night on Fridays so we could do it again on Saturday. Sometimes you had to just back off a little bit because you want to race the next day. So
right,
it takes a little bit of discipline.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I've always kind of thought was pretty cool about the dirt world, especially compared to the asphalt world, is that you guys have common rules typically between tracks. Kind of talk about that. Obviously, that's got to allow you to race multiple tracks in multiple nights.
Yeah, we run the UMP crate rules, UMP Pro Late Model. So all those sanctioned tracks, all the rules are the same. So you can get on their page, UMP, and it shows you the tracks that you can run at. Mm-hmm. And the rules are going to be the same there. We're all kind of the same, and we can use different brand of cars as far as who builds the cars, but tire rules are the same, the engine rule, your fuel, all that's the same. So when you're going to that, you're competing against something close to the same thing you are.
Right. Now, the late model class out at Shadyhill Speedway is relatively new for the last couple of years, right?
Yes. Been around for 3 years now. Another gentleman, Darren Wireman, won it the first year. Lives here in Wheatfield, my local town here. And then I got picked it up the last 2 years.
Right. Kind of talk about how you've seen that division grow out there over the last couple of years.
At first, it was kind of hit or miss. Some nights we would have a lot of cars, some nights it would be the greatest turnout. And the racers out there have done a great job of putting on some good shows. I want to say we had 4 features out there this year. We didn't have a caution, and we went green to checkered. Then there were some other nights we had a little, quite a few, but
right.
That's part of the the smaller spec motors we run just to keep the class even. And we're all pretty close out there. Torrin kind of stunk it up there for a few weeks in a row, about 4 or 5, I say, but it just makes us have to step our game up. But
yeah, exactly. So with all that being said, what do you think your biggest challenge of the 2020 season was?
Figuring out this new car. We bought a brand new 2020 race car this past winter, and getting it figured out. I think before we hit the track, we had several test nights in it, just getting it figured out, your test sessions. And with the corona hitting, stuff was a little slower opening up here. So we were traveling Kentucky, Tennessee, kind of racing and using that as a test session. So when the local tracks opened up, we'd be ready to go, geared up. So it was between the corona and the new car, it was a struggle at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I can imagine. So you said, getting the new car, kind of using the test session. What's that process like for you, kind of feeling out that new car and getting it just right?
The gentleman that builds them builds a really good car, fast car. I love it. We end up selling this one. I put it up for sale to see if I could sell it. I sold it. So that's why it's kind of half torn apart now. We're in the process of tearing that apart.
Right.
I forgot what the question was now.
Well, apparently you're going to have to do it again. Just when you get a new car, what kind of that process of I guess breaking it in, tuning it in, and getting it to where you like it.
Yeah, I think we got a good measurements, good things to go off of now. Hopefully the new car isn't too much different. It's more body stuff that's going to be a little bit different. Suspension's supposed to be all pretty much the same. So
right.
Just I think we got a good baseline to start off with this spring when we get going.
All right. And yeah, you let it slip when we are off the air a little bit. Our buddies over there at FRS Shocks are helping you out a little bit.
Yeah, I got hooked up with Jeff Cannon a couple years ago. I had an older race car, and he helped me out a bunch on that. And then kind of felt each other out, seeing how we're both pretty serious about dirt track racing. And this winter, I told him I laid all my cards out, got a brand new car. I need the best out there. So he hooked me up with really good shocks, and he was out there testing with me a bunch, and he was doing stuff to the car, and then would send me out there and won't tell me what he did. And I'd have to tell him what I thought it was. And he really pushes you, but he's probably one of the best in the business, and it's great that he's so close to me too. So that really helps.
Yeah, I know a couple of asphalt racers, at least one in particular that moved right next door to him. So
yeah, he filmed about that.
Yeah, so he's going to be a busy man. So is there anything, I guess this is good, anything you learned here in 2020 that you can take and apply for next year?
Just got to stick with it. Keep going. I mean, about halfway July, August, you start getting burned out, and especially if you have a bad night. If you have a good night, kind of does all right. I'm all right. I can go a few more months, but I'll tell you what, even though this season was short, much as we raced, it was 2-3 times a night, or a week sometimes. For a long season. I know my wife was ready for it to be done, and then I sold the car, and then I picked up a ride to race here the next few weeks. So not quite done racing yet.
Right. Well, yeah. Speak to that. Anything left on your plate for 2020 yet?
Like I said, I jumped in another pro late model for the Falls Frenzy down at Fairbury, which is a very big race, and we did pretty good in there. We ended up qualifying decent and finished decent in our heat, and I believe there was 40 or 42 cars there, and so we made the show. It was just a good feed and had a good run. But there's a Kokomo Clashes coming up. They're a little bit bigger motors than what we run, and I got the opportunity to drive this car again, so I might do that. But as far as driving my own car, I think I'm done for the season.
Yeah, sounds like it. Definitely appreciate coming on tonight. And before we let you go, what we try to typically do with all the drivers we have, obviously the sport isn't cheap. There's a lot of people that help, foot the bill or help work on the car or help kind of get everybody to the racetrack. So we want to give you the opportunity to thank all those that help you out.
Yeah, sure. Checkerty Boutique. That's probably one of the best years I've had as far as getting sponsors, and that really helped out this year, especially trying to fund a new car, getting it going. But Checkerty Boutique, Dragon Racing Fuel, Macaulay Real Estate, which is my wife. She sells houses, so that really helps too. And she's the crew chief. So she does a lot of work for me, takes care of it, and keeps some sanity in me the best she can. That's a job in itself. But,
yeah, right.
Who else we got? C Tippett Sewers. They came on board this year, helped out tremendously. Rich's Quick Lube, and Great Lakes Welding Supplies. Local. All these are pretty local businesses within surrounding towns, and I really like that. That it helps me out a ton, and hopefully we can send some business their way. And FRS Shocks. Like I said, Jeff. We talked about him, and Swartz Race Cars. Swartz by Boggs. Jackie Boggs. 4B Motorsports. That's who builds these, and really got teamed up with him this year. And I tell you what, that guy builds awesome race car, and looking forward to ordered the new one already, so looking forward to getting that thing out here.
Yeah, because I'm sure that'll be a lot of work as soon as it comes in. Yep.
We got a little bit of a winter ahead of us, putting it all back putting a new one back together, I should say, or new one together. So
Yep, and the cycle starts all over again.
yeah. And my crew, I got my daughter, my IT department, Jade, Sam and Josie and Eric, all my kids, and we got my mom and dad and my brother. They really helped me out a ton this year. I really couldn't have done it without them. My dad stepped up, my brother, and helped me purchase this new car too. So all the help to them, and Andrew and Matt, part of my crew guys that travel around with us when we hit the road. So just couldn't do it without all those people. It seems like a lot of people, but it actually takes every one of them to get this going.
Yep, I'm involved in it from the asphalt side, so I get it. It definitely takes a village, that's for sure.
Yes.
Well, Kyle, thanks for coming on tonight and taking a few minutes of your time, and definitely congratulations on your track championships. Definitely well done this year.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks. Hopefully we'll see you at the track next year.
Yes. Got to come to these dirt tracks now.
I know. It's on the list, man. It's on like the New Year's resolutions already.
I'll tell you what. I'll come to an asphalt track if you come to a dirt track.
All right, we got it. Deal.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Kyle.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
All right, that was Kyle Cooper, your Shadyhill Speedway and Kankakee County Speedway late model track champion.
Yeah, see, look, you got 2-1 this week.
Well, we were going to have it last week, but the whole work thing crept up, but we were somehow able to do it. And I got to give credit where it's due, though. Got to give credit to your brother, Brian.
Yeah, he earned this one. He
got everything set up for us. Reached out, made that connection, and glad that he did. Kyle's good guy there, and definitely good insights on kind of the dirt world. Like you said, we don't get out to the dirt world very often, but like maybe next year we need to.
Well, I actually want to dig in a little bit there on something that we were talking about in the interview with Kyle.
Yep.
And then, just commenting that, he was champion at 2 tracks. The guy we were going to have on last week that fell through, he was champion at 2 tracks. Really kind of says something to, the dirt tracks running the same or similar rules. You can take your car multiple places and race it without changing anything.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about that on here before, how that's kind of an advantage the dirt world has on the asphalt world. Common rules, a common sanctioning body or governing body to determine those rules, and you can buy in, the member tracks. I don't know if it's similar program, kind of what ASA was doing, with Illiana and some other tracks, but definitely a model for what the asphalt tracks need to do. I mean, you think about it, think about what a late model is at Grundy, and then you think about what a late model is at South Bend. It's 2 different things, 2 different styles.
Yeah.
So even I guess you could maybe say they're 2 different regions, but still, I mean, an hour's.
Well, back in the day, Grundy and Illiana, you had a lot of crossover there. And then as the technology improved and the cars improved, the crossover kind of fell off. And, I don't know a lot of the technicals, but it seems like every asphalt track wants to have something a little different, so you can only run your car at their track. Yeah,
which I think has kind of been putting them in a box, really. Putting all these asphalt tracks in a box where, I mean, I think we would want to encourage at this point going to run 1 track on Friday, 1 track on Saturday, and 1 track on Sunday afternoon, because there'd be guys that would do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially
Raceway Park used to be 4 times a week. Larry Schuler back, I believe, late 70s, won a championship running 3 nights a week, won 3 states, 3 championships, 3 nights a week.
Yeah, so I definitely think there's value there, and definitely would encourage local short tracks to get together, even if it's just by a regional thing. Kind of don't pigeonhole your drivers into one necessarily set of rules. I mean, to be able to take a car to just for our intents and purposes, whether it be Rockford, Grundy, South Bend, M40, wherever, to be able to take and run any of those different tracks with the same rules package, same car. I mean, maybe just change a gear, or minor suspension tweaks just for setup wise. I don't see how that can hurt anybody really. So
absolutely not.
So I definitely dig what the dirt dig the dirt guys. Yeah, dig what the dirt guys do in that aspect of it. And honestly,
I was going to make the bad jokes.
And I know. And honestly, as somebody that I think would contemplate getting involved. I think that has to be a method of consideration. Where all can I race if I want to get involved? I obviously want to get the best bang for my buck, and going the dirt route with common rules amongst tracks and one sanctioning body, I think is definitely very appealing for someone looking to get involved.
Right. All right. So soapbox off.
I wouldn't even see, this is a discussion. This is good podcast discussion.
It is. It is.
It's not like us going ranting and raving and going crazy over somebody making a stupid.
I don't think anything really dumb has happened this week.
Yeah. So look at Bobby chime in. And South Bend, New Paris, and Plymouth did it back in the day, which be a good thing. Moorhead. We must have said something good. Moorhead agreed with us. So no, but I definitely think there's value in that, and hopefully some tracks will. I know, South Bend and New Paris and some of those tracks have tried to work together, and as of late, and I definitely think more of that needs to happen and more of it needs to continue. So with all that being said, let's transfer into our weekly winner circle segment presented by Damn It Dim It Race Videos. Damn It Dim It Race Videos provides quality racing videos from the Grundy County Speedway and South Bend Motor Speedway. You can watch all the videos on the Damn It Dim It Race Videos YouTube page, and you also follow them on Facebook for the latest news and information about their schedule and their video postings. And Chris, I've seen he's starting to do the thrills and the spills and all the highlights.
I watched that before we went on the air.
I saw it a couple minutes ago, and I'm like, man, I got to catch that later. So. So looking forward to doing that. So he's getting those out. So make sure you check his YouTube pages and his Facebook page for more information about when he posts. So that being said, our winner circle segment this week is going to focus on our dirt track champions from out here. Let's start with the Shadyhill Speedway. Jamie Lomax with the UMP Modified Championship out there. We just talked to him. Kyle Cooper in the Pro Late Models. Chris Joseph in the Bombers, Ron Wilkes in the Stock Car Division, Skylar Antonell in the Four Bangers, and Dan Marshall took the iMod Track Championship out there. And let's take a look now at the Plymouth Speedway. Bradley Jameson, the UMP Modifieds, Ron Wilkes, Super Streets, doubling up. Austin Hubbard in the Thunder Stocks out there. Josh Lanks, 4 cylinders, and Dylan Woodling in the 600 Micros. And we mentioned potential guest we were trying to get last week. Austin Hubbard was that guest, and he won UMP Factory Stocks out at Kankakee, as well as the track championship there we just mentioned out at Plymouth. So again, kind of lends credence and justification to the argument we were just making. You can go run multiple tracks, multiple nights, and same car, and be successful at both. So. So, transfer in. As we mentioned at the type of the show, this is the last episode of the season, last regularly scheduled episode of the season. How about that? Is that a better disclaimer?
Our last weekly-ish show.
Weekly-ish show, probably till next spring. Have no fear, though, because we do have some special things that we are kicking around and planning out how to do. And when I figure those out, I'll let you know, Chris, and then we can, we can go from there. But before we sign off for the regular season here, want to kind of give our season-ending thoughts, so to speak.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So, Chris, I want to know maybe what was your highlight of 2020?
Oh, my highlight of 2020 was that there was a 2020. Sitting there, sitting at home through April and May, thinking, I'm not sure we're gonna get to go racing this year. So, the fact that we got Moorhead wants a holiday special, so we got to do like the worst thing we have ever done: go full on Star Wars holiday special, sing a theme song. Anyway, never mind.
I'm envisioning like ugly Christmas sweaters.
Absolutely, yes.
Flashing like Santa hats. I got a vision now.
All right, so we'll add that to our off-season activities. But anyway, the fact that we had a 2020 season was the highlight of the 2020 season for me.
Yeah, for me, I definitely agree with that. The fact that we were even able to get racing was definitely a highlight myself. I think I made it out to Grundy more times than I have the last couple of seasons with the S4 guys. And I tell you, in the last couple of years, it's kind of been hard to kind of get motivated, get in it, just, with Illiana closing and then whatever track we go to kind of being a little far away, and just kind of get that motivation to get back at the track and kind of get back in the normal swing of things. We were able to kind of do that a little bit more with the S4 guys this year. And then getting that feature win in the Lee Schuler Memorial really got the juices flowing, got everything back a little bit.
Yeah, that would get it flowing.
So yeah, that's definitely my highlight. Definitely wish we could have maybe gotten out to Plymouth or Shadyhill or some of those other tracks a little bit more. But there's always next year in 2021. So that being said, what are you looking forward to for 2021?
Well, honestly, where we sit right now, I'm hoping that we get a 2021. I'm knocking on wood. Hopefully everything's blown over by then, and whatever happens. But I want to get onto a racetrack in April rather than August.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to go back to normal. Anything else on top of that's just icing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully, a little bit of normalcy. Whatever normalcy is, I guess that's in the eye of the beholder, I suppose. But yeah, definitely doing that. The wife and I are beginning a foray into camping. So
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, we've taken a buddy's camper out on our birthday week or vacation a few weeks ago. We got another one planned over Halloween weekend with your former favorite race car driver's family.
Yeah, hey, I've heard that racetracks are good places to camp at.
Well, that's kind of what I'm looking forward to in 2021. Maybe getting out there and going to some of the places like, I don't know, maybe camping for like the Winchester 400 or,
there you go.
Something like that. Some of those racetracks where you can kind of get a cool campground vibe and you can kind of get a little racing in. So definitely looking forward to maybe trying that out next year.
Yeah, I hear the after parties are great Labor Day weekend at Grundy. The South Bend Showdown weekend is, the fewer stories told about that, the better, but it's good camp.
No, I think maybe that's a special episode, huh?
As much as we can air, anyway.
I don't think there's any guidelines on Facebook or YouTube. Well, I guess it depends on what your political spectrum is, but we won't go there. Let's see what we got going on in the peanut gallery over here. I say Terry Lester chiming in. Really didn't think there was going to be 2020 season. I don't think any of us really did. Definitely the unknowns of this season and kind of going into the season definitely caught us all off guard and definitely had us crossing our fingers that we would get something. Johnny B checking in. Coco Clash Friday and Saturday. You heard Kyle talk about it just a little bit. Big deal locally, the Dirtway over there in Kokomo. Obviously, a very well-known track. It's got to be to make it in the iRacing service, right?
Exactly.
So
actually, on that topic, we would be remiss if we didn't mention the Bahama Brackets coming up.
Yep, that is coming up probably within the next couple of weeks.
I believe it's this weekend.
See, there you go. I did not look into the local racing calendar because I have mentally checked out.
Well, I suppose I can forgive that.
Yeah, and see, Bobby's checking in. Looking forward to you not being in the tow truck next year.
Yeah, Bobby says something about having a car. We'll see. I believe in you, Bobby.
Well, with all that being said, we've had a lot of people, viewers included, that have supported us this season. First one on the list, Goodacre Photography.
Oh, hey, that's me.
That would be you. And looks like you doing non-race car subjects now?
Yeah, I kind of got bored over the weekend, so I had a coworker. His daughter's a senior in high school. Said, "Hey, Chris, you want to do our senior portraits?" Sure, yeah, I ain't got a race to be at. And then your driver there and his girlfriend decided, "Hey, that's a good idea. Let's go back to the place that released a whole lot of pollen and caused my allergies to go haywire. Let's go back the next day too."
Well, I mean, they're just looking out for you. That's it.
Yeah, something like that.
So are we taking independent bookings here? Do we need to get that info?
We're working on that. Yeah. I'm actually working behind the scenes since I don't have a billion pictures to upload this weekend. I'm gonna try to improve stuff. Try to work in some new revenue streams. Hopefully, taking pictures of things that aren't race cars, which you can also find at goodacrephotography.com/whatever I decide to name that album.
So they can obviously find all your racing and pictures and information where?
We are on Facebook at facebook.com/goodacrephotography. You can find us on Instagram when I remember to post something on Instagram at goodacrephotography. And I think that's all the social media I've got.
I'm proud of myself.
Visit us at goodacrephotography.com. That should be getting something of a facelift here pretty soon, I think.
Yeah, I'm happy. I just remembered to post on the Instagram's podcast Instagram page. So
there you go. See, you're learning too.
I got a good photo from Goodacre Photography.
Hey, that'd be us
to use for such posts. So
yeah, and you know, Goodacre Photography really kind of made tonight's episode possible, since my brother's friends with everybody at the dirt track, since he kind of took over operations there at Shadyhill, working for me. Really kind of lightened my load a little bit, so I only had 2 tracks to do this year instead of 3, which helped a lot.
yeah,
so yeah, he put us in touch with Kyle, and I think we got a pretty good show out of it.
Yep, I totally agree. So yeah, this episode brought to you by Goodacre Photography. I also want to thank International Women's Motorsports Association, IWMANation.com, and you find them on Facebook and Instagram at IWMA Nation. So I want to thank Left Turn Graphics and the Driving DJ Network. I'm pretty sure that Grundy County Super Speedway or Super Series is going to be firing up here sometime soon.
Yep, I know we got the banquet coming up middle of next month, so I'm sure everybody's kind of aiming towards that as far as us on the planning committee.
Yeah, exactly. I know schedule and stuff is in the works. So make sure to check out the Driving DJ Network page for that. And also, we'll be sharing the info here on our Facebook page. I'm sure you can also find it on the Grundy County Speedway Facebook page as well. As far as us, if you're watching us, you're either watching us on Facebook or YouTube. If you have not liked, subscribed, followed our pages, please do so before you leave. And I believe there's a button on there that you can click to say notify you when we go live.
Yep, if you're on YouTube, it's right down.
Yeah, there somewhere. Yeah. So make sure you do that because, like I said, we're going to have I think we got some special episodes for the off-season plan, some things we want to do, things we want to try. Just kind of keep out in front of everybody and give you guys something to do. We definitely enjoyed giving you guys something to do while we weren't racing back in March and April. So that will be the goal this off season as well, although not as frequent, maybe once a month, something like that, or whenever all the schedules converge and we can actually put together a cool project. So make sure you follow us on Facebook, YouTube, like I said, and Instagram as well. I got some ideas for the Instagram page as well that I think Goodacre Photography is going to have to help me with. So,
hey, I just got voluntold right there.
Yeah, well, it happens. So, that being said, I want to thank everybody who's stuck with us here this year. Watched the show, helped make the show possible, helped get a guest, or kind of do some legwork on our behalf. We have enjoyed bringing the show to you this season. And we look forward to the special episodes we have planned and seeing you guys next season at the racetrack and back here on Illiana Stock Car Radio. So long.